15 minutes left of practice. That will begin qualifying at 5:15. Again, championship up for grabs. It won't be crowned until tomorrow, because even if James Dean does qualify, he does need to run a bye run if he's in the top qualifying positions where he wouldn't need to do battle, or if he goes into battle, he needs to turn and burn, so get up to the line. So again, championship up for grabs, but winning here is similar to that of winning at Indy 500, Monaco for Formula One, or if it's Talladega NASCAR. Winning here at Irwindale is an iconic thing, especially since this is the final event here at the House of Drift. Thanks for joining us out here, O'Reilly title fight. Again, qualifying will begin in just about 15 minutes. So thanks for joining us out here at the House of Drift and the O'Reilly Auto Parts title fight.
That's what I.
Still up. Well, that is a sight for sore eyes. Welcome to the iconic, infamous track that is the House of Drift, Irwindale Speedway, for the O'Reilly Auto Parts title fight. That means this is round 8 of 8 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship presented by Blackview Dash Cameras. Again, iconic track, iconic man right next to me, Formula Drift co-founder, great friend of mine, and co-host Ryan Sage. I'm Jared Dienda. Ryan, what does it mean for you, the culmination of a season, and of course, the resounding this could be and this is the final event ever here at the House of Drift?
Yeah, it's definitely bittersweet, probably more bitter than sweet, not knowing what's going to happen to this place after we finish this last event here, but we do know that this will be our final event ever here at the House of Drift. It's an iconic place for motorsports in general, but it's also the birthplace of the sport. Really, here, this is where it really started in Southern California 15 years ago. Drifting burst onto the scene in America, and you wouldn't have, I think, the kind of drifting that we see without the House of Drift. So it's so important.
It's been really cool to see, you know, leading up to this event. You know, we're not talking about the championship just yet, but it's been really cool to see drivers that have either competed in the past, such as Mad Mike Wadette here, and the drivers that are competing here this weekend, just kind of reminiscing about their greatest moments. A lot of the crew and staff. It's just such a really, I mean, I'm getting kind of tingles actually right now. Yeah, goosebumps. Thank you. But I even saw you kind of reminiscing about going in the car, going along the wall. This place is really special if you haven't been here before. But fortunately, we're going to show you this event. But let's set the scene here. Coming to this round again, it was two gentlemen, man. James Dean, just so dominant, and of course Frederick Osbo's in the show. But James Dean, man.
Well, we've seen just the consistency, the car reliability, and everything that you would want to have in a complete package come together for James Dean this year. He answered all of his critics, even if there weren't that many of them. It was, could this guy manage to pull off a championship in year one? And he is on the precipice of doing that. He's got 4 wins, which ties Frederick Osbo for the record. And if he were to get a 5th win, he would be the all-time leader in season wins. So he's done an incredible job. He's been consistent. He's shown real class as a champion, and I'm sure that we're going to see him go out there this weekend and put down an awesome fight in the title fight.
Well, I've seen a lot of Irish men and women, and even his mom and dad have flown over here. So it's great to see his dad here in the building. And truth be told, I don't know if you knew this, but James Dean, when he won earlier this year, he dedicated that win to his dad. Well, come to find out, his dad had heart surgery, and he didn't tell anybody. And he's like, and so it was really, I think it's really great that he is able to be here in more ways than one. But again, James Dean, Frederick Osbo. I mean, mathematically, what are we looking at here for James Dean to grab the overall championship?
Well, you know, it's not going to take a miracle for Frederick Osbo to win, but it's going to be very difficult. James Dean does need to qualify, and he will need to make it at least to the line in his top 32 battle so he can get those top 32 points. If he does that, he will clinch the championship tomorrow. So no clinching it today, but he will clinch it tomorrow if he makes it to the line in the top 32, whether he wins or loses. But, you know, crazier things have happened. We'll have to see and really pay attention to practice tomorrow if he goes out there, because if he were to detonate the vehicle and Osbo were to go on and win the event, then Osbo could win the championship.
So that's practically a miracle. I mean, but Osbo can do it. If anybody can do it, definitely those two gentlemen are firing on all cylinders, literally and figuratively. So let's take a look at those standings and our points race, this being the final round. The championship is up for grabs, but even, you know, regardless of the championship, this is just a place where you want to win. It's a Daytona, it's a Talladega, it's a Monaco. It's a very iconic place, but you can see how big a lead James Dean has above second place Frederick Osbo. You know, and you got to look at the overall 1, 2, and 3. Odie Bach is 367. Christoph Blusch, he is just 2 points behind, grabbing the number 3 spot. And Odie really wants to stay within that top 3. He speaks softly, he carries some big angle, and some phenomenal chase runs. But Von Gittin Jr., he knows this track. He was one of the drivers that talked about reminiscing about how great this Irwindale House of Drift track is.
Well, the second half from 6 to 10 is actually interesting to me as well, because you see that the point separation is so close. Even if you go down to Chris Forsberg in number 10, he's less than 100 points out from that 3rd place of Odie Bacci. So crazy things could happen where we're going to see a lot of shifting around from 3rd place potentially all the way down to that 10th place.
This presentation of Formula Drift has been brought to you by Blackview, Over the Cloud, Nexen Tire, Driving Tomorrow, Nitto Tire, fueled by enthusiasts, O'Reilly Auto Parts, better parts, better prices.
Welcome out to Casual Friday here at Irwindale Speedway as we are about to see our first qualifying run here. We're starting from the bottom of who is currently, where they're currently placed and ranked in the standings. So Farouk Kouai from Northern California, simply call him Farouk. So Farouk. All right, so on Nexen Tires is BMW of Farouk. Great to see him back out here. We saw the debut of the car in Texas as the STR Racing wheels go round. Nice job there by Farouk. Drops down the bank. Would like to see him higher on the bank. Now transitions into that second outer zone. Quite a bit of distance off of the wall. Farouk does keep it sideways, but not placing the car in the right places. So really does tighten it to that final front clip, but Farouk really struggling there with both the first and second outer zone, Ryan.
Well, a lot of pressure here at Irwindale Speedway for these drivers to compete at the highest level. Here you can see Farouk initiates the 3-2 cone. 3-2-1 cones are out for the drivers to take a look at. I'd like to see him be a little bit higher there coming off the bank. You can see this transition into the inside clip number 1. Now coming into the inner bank here, trying to shoot out as wide as he can to this wall, pretty much wrap it all the way around, then come off just right about there and get to that second inside clip. You can see the 3-2-1 hash markers there, and then push hard, keeping drift angle through the vehicle all the way through the finish line.
Let's see what kind of score Farouk's gonna get.
There's like a little latency.
All right, and there it is for Farouk. He scores a 50 and currently your number 1 qualifier because he is the only qualifier. So Farouk with a score of 50 on the board. So fortunately for him, he will be seeing competition as we do not have a full field of 32. So those top qualifying positions will be receiving a bye in top 32. Okay, and we are now seeing Rad Dan, aka Dan Burkett, here in the Rad Industries. Nexen Tires, Toyota Supra. And here comes Dan Burkett, initiating into the big bank, the infamous track here at Irwindale Speedway. Whoa, throws it up, gets intimate with the wall. Quick little smooch, hit it and quit it, as now past that front clip into that second outer zone, ripping into it. That angle, you can see great angle, but as far as distance from the wall, about the third hash mark, past that final front clip, Dan Burkett.
So Dan, one of the drivers that we saw out at Thursday Night Drift this past week, just getting his bearings straight. You can see kind of a slow roll into the initiation here. Then he really cranks it up, taps the wall there, comes out of the zone. Full lock coming down on the inside here, but he's a little bit too deep on that inside first clip here. Now on the second inner bank here, wavering a little bit. He's a little bit tight on his line. I like to see him get a little bit deeper there. You can see in that line forces him to go wide on that second inside clip. So good first pass for Dan, and a couple areas where he can actually work on to better his score next time around.
And now we are waiting for Dan Burkett's score. Dan Burkett's score, and we are seeing, trying to see who is on the start line ready to roll. Dan Burkett with a 58. A 58 for Dan Burkett. And yes, all right, Pat Gooden here on the start line. Black Magic Intense, Hankook Tires, Huddy Racing S13. Let's see how the Florida driver, king of spring break, Pat Gooden, throws down here. Got O'Reilly Auto Parts on the hood. This is the O'Reilly Auto Parts title fight. And initiating now, nice job by Pat Gooden. Let's see if he can throw some more angle on it, and he does, nice job. Pat Gooden very settled there with his S13. Into that second outer zone, flying, nice. Woo, blending into the wall. Pat Gooden on a tear. Hangs onto the wall tough. Look at Pat Gooden using all of the cores. Pat Gooden was something to prove. I think he was better than Gooden. He was Goodener.
Well, a great start here by Pat Gooden. You can see that initiation there, the 3, 2, 1 cones. The judges are looking for you to initiate probably the second cone or earlier, and he does stay deep into that zone there. Very smooth coming down off the bank. The angle judge, Andy Yen, wants to see the drivers have their rotation prior to that first inside clip, and Pat did it just right there at that last moment there. So good job, and then pushing out wide and tapping the wall there. So a lot of excitement by Pat Gooden. Good start for him overall.
And Pat Gooden score in with a nice score of 85. So Pat Gooden with an 85. All right, so right now it is Cameron Moore. Cameron Moore, nameless performance. Toyota GT86. He's on Nexen tires. Let's see Cameron Moore. From Battleground, Washington, the Butcher. See the big meat cleaver there on the side. And some big meat cleavers out back, those Nexen tire rubbers. Let's see how we can throw down here with Cameron Moore. 333. Initiates. You can see getting a nice angle, maxes it out, transitions past that front clip about the second hash mark. Now into that second outer zone. Like to see more angle from him. You can see now putting into it. Oh, tapping the wall. And Cameron Moore powers through the finish line. So some nice things from Cameron Moore, but when it came to that second outer zone, seemed a bit hesitant and then threw it in as we take a look at this run once again here from Cameron Moore. Ryan?
Yeah, just taking a look here at the initiation. You can see he does a great job staying high on the wall here, then comes down right off that bank on that second hash mark there. So pretty decent job trying to keep that rotation before. Has a little bit of a flub there on the inside bank. Taps the wall there, but keeps angle in the vehicle. So great save there. And then nice and tight on that final inside clip. Full throttle all the way through. So Cameron Moore putting the car into the wall, but keeping the composure all around, and a good start for him.
Yeah, that second bank has surprisingly been the claiming of the victims of the particular cars over the years. I mean, the big bank of Irwindale, we saw Chris Forsberg go into it yesterday, but maybe some of the chatter or what were some of the happenings yesterday at practice, because Forsberg, real quick, Cameron Moore with a 68, but maybe get some of the fans up to snuff.
Well, I think, you know, in general, when we've added this 8th event, it was a challenge for drivers, you know, to really program their vehicle and tune their vehicle in such a way that it will last all 8 rounds. And, you know, I get the sense that, you know, we come into this final round, and not only is there's this huge anticipation and all this pressure, but, you know, the vehicles have had a long season. We've seen a lot of guys go through motors and things like that. And so Thursday practice is always really interesting to see as a, you know, an outsider watching these guys going through what they need to go through for their preparation. And we did see quite a few wrecks yesterday, and some guys working feverishly overnight, and even some replacement vehicles since it wasn't an official practice.
Yep. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But right now, Kyle Mohan, he's firing on all, not cylinders. He's on the Wankles, the rotary-powered MX-5, the lone rotary vehicle in competition, winding it up. Nice job by the Menace. Quickly getting past that front clip. Not max angle there, but like it right there. Comes off the wall a little early, but when it comes to the front clip, zeroes in. And wound up is Kyle Mohan as he crosses the finish line.
So Kyle Mohan putting down the first part of his campaign here, run number 1, initiating, staying kind of a mid-high line on the bank. Little tiny waiver there, but keeps angle in the car. Now down off the bank through this first inside clip. Great job rotating early, hitting that clip, then setting himself up here for the inner bank. The judges have a few areas on the track where they've designated some possible deceleration, one at initiation, one after inside clip number 1, and then one near inside clip number 2. We'll get more into that tomorrow for the head-to-head battles, but certainly there's a lot of throttle action, as we saw here from Kyle Mohan, on this course in general.
So we talked about some of the issues, or some of the issues that some of the drivers had with their vehicle. So 67 from Kyle Mohan currently puts him into 3rd qualifying position, but notably Ryan Turk popped his engine. Chris Forsberg went into the wall. Christoph Bluch, he popped his engine, and you'll see in a little bit he's actually driving what would be considered, from what I understand, it was next season's car. He was just going to debut it, but now since he popped his primary car of the 2017 season, talking about the engine, supposedly just the nitro system didn't have the jets, boom, goes the dynamite. And that's an expensive, the Mass Motorsports engine to replace, and can't just get one overnight. So what has now happened, his 2018 vehicle that was going to be debuted here is now his primary car. It's a beautiful looking car, the Eurofighter E92 BMW. So I believe we're going to be seeing that car out here in competition as opposed to just sitting there static. So great looking car. But again, I know Juha Rintanen from Finland, we didn't see him in practice. He had, I believe he smoked his engine as well. So as you said, Ryan, just attrition, keeping it all together. From going from 7 to 8, it really pushes the threshold because these cars are already wound up. I mean, average 1,000 horsepower across the field. Another story, Robin Nishida. He's claimed this is his final Formula Drift round. He's kind of hanging up his helmet, and he's just been an institution here in the Formula Drift family. So Robin Nishida, the Jerry Yang Racing GTR and Achilles radials, Robbie Bushido Blade Nishida, essentially his swan song here at the House of Drift, his final round of Formula Drift competition here in the States. Transitions past that front clip, nice job coming into that second outer zone, hammering down, nice job by Nishida, very smooth from him on that second hash mark. And what a storybook tale it would be if maybe Robbie just gets it all together and wins this event.
Well, you know, you always hope for, you know, a really great ending to a wonderful career.
Yeah.
And that would be amazing for Robbie Nishida. We spent a lot of time with him in Japan. He's one of the FD Japan judges, so he certainly knows the criteria, and you can see it's manifesting itself here. He does a great job coming off the bank after that first inside clip. Stays pretty deep into that zone, very tight here on that final inside clip, and great throttle all the way through that nice smooth line that he arced from that second inside clip to the finish line. Exactly what the judges want to see there. So expecting a good score from him overall, a great first run, and he'll have one more to go as well.
Yeah, that sun, you know, these guys, when they're coming off that bank, they're transitioning. You can see the sun could potentially be interference for these drivers in their eyes. 82 for Robbie Nishida and 82 for Robbie Nishida. As now we go back to the starting line. And that is Jeff Jones, the Doc Hankook Tires S14 of Jeff Jones, local LA area resident. Edelbrock supercharged LS under the hood. Never know what's going to come from Jeff Jones. Very unpredictable driver. Sometimes he just goes for the gusto. If the car's running 100%, expect something. He has a lot of track time here. He's one of kind of the Thursday Drift, what would you say, regulars. So Jeff Jones initiates. Well done. Well done there by Jeff Jones. Transitioning past that front clip into that second outer zone, melding his way into that wall. Woo! Nice job by Jeff Jones. Hangs it all the way out and across the finish line.
Well, you know, as the season comes to an end, it's always fun to look back on each of the drivers' campaigns this year. And for Jeff Jones, I think he has had a tremendous season, really showing what you can do, you know, with a team that maybe doesn't have as much funding as everybody else. And Jones has really showed that he's got a lot of heart and an incredible talent, put together a very solid program here, and you can see that he just shines at these really opportune moments. And for him, this is a great first start. He's definitely got some opportunities to increase the score, but a great job overall by him in run number 1.
And scores are in there for Jeff Jones, a 75. That is a 75 for Jeff Jones. Slide him into the third qualifying position. Jonathan Castro from Dominican Republic. I would venture to say kind of the most memorable battle from this year. If something or somebody steps up here at Irwindale, I would say the most memorable battle for me this year was Jonathan Castro and Frederick Osbo. Ryan, would you agree?
On a number of different levels, I would agree. Not only was it one of the most memorable, his reaction after the fact and what it did to people, including myself, was pretty awesome to experience live.
Jonathan Castro initiating in the Jadot Metal Dome Toyota Racing Toyota GT86 on Nexen tires. Leaves that big bang. Oh, kind of looked a little awkward there past that first front clip, but now a lot of angle from Castro. Really finding the code there and getting that GT86 to work. He's seen him at different events. I saw him earlier this week, and he's all smiles. He's really happy with where the car is at right now.
Well, one of the most positive drivers in the series, always smiling, a super good guy. You can see here as he starts up, he's kind of on a middle line on the bank. I like to see him get a little bit higher. Gets that transition nice and early through that first inside clip. Keeps the rotation prior to the first inside clip. Better job here on this second outer zone, much closer to the wall here. And as he wraps through that final inside clip, you can see he's just right on that inside hash mark, exactly where you want to be. Throttles all the way through, keeps angling the car through the finish line, and gets run number 1 in the books.
Jonathan Castro with a 78 to 78 for Mr. Castro. Part of that Boost Brigade, the clothing brand there. See his Boost Brigade lid. And his Toyota Racing teammate of the OG, Ken Gucci, Greddy Performance. Nexen Tires, Toyota Racing, Toyota GT86. He's been a busy man. Somebody, I follow all the drivers on Instagram, and he has been one busy cat. I know he spent a lot of time out at COTA. He's doing a lot of activation stuff with Toyota, and definitely really found himself ingrained with the brand that is Toyota. They moved their world headquarters, or excuse me, their U.S. headquarters from here in Southern California out to Plano, Texas. So they had a big grand opening out there. Here we go, Ken Gucci. He has his way with this track quite a few times over the 14 years of Formula Drift. Oh, that was not the prettiest, as they'd say, in that second outer zone. And Ken Gucci now brings it into that front clip. That's how it's done. But Ryan, I was looking at the TV. I was looking at the monitor, not actually him on track. Let's look at this again past that front clip.
Yeah, you can see the initiation is pretty smooth. The judges really want to see a quick rate to angle there, and so that's a higher risk maneuver. Gucci does it a little bit more methodical, but as he transitions off the bank, he ends up with the vehicle pointing towards the grandstands. And the judges definitely shaking their heads in here. A big mistake for Ken Gucci, and we'll have to get Ryan Lantain on to get his interpretation there, but this may be a throwaway run for him.
Opposite drift. So, yeah, Lantain.
Yeah, it looks like an opposite drift. Wasn't at the right angle going by that inside clip, so he had the angle in the opposite direction of which he should have. So he ended up making that inside clip almost a rear clip with the back of the car.
All right, so there are your opportunities, or examples, excuse me, better yet, of the incomplete run. Spinning out, opposite drift. That's what Ryan Lantain, and that was a perfect example of what opposite drift is. Drifting with the opposite angle required at that point on course, because the vehicle is supposed to be pointing up towards the grandstands. It was pointing the opposite direction. Then hood, hatch, trunk, and or doors opening during the run. That's an incomplete run.
Yeah, these are the ones that Lantain likes to call absolutes.
Right.
If this happens, you're getting an incomplete, but they also have the right, if there's just something too crazy on course going on, if you straighten out for too long of a period of time, that I have seen in many occasions where they will award an incomplete for a run that just wouldn't even be a factor anyways.
Yeah.
So, we have a different category of incompletes in the head-to-head matchups, but the ones that we're talking about today are particularly for qualifying.
Copy. Matt Field on the start line, 777, the Falcon tires. If you haven't watched the videos, frenemies. And did I just call him Matt Powers? I think I might have. Matt Field, just thinking to myself there. I've done that before in the past. But Matt Field, 777, the Beast from the Bay, Falcon tires, a fun driver to watch. Vape-tasia on the doors, and I know they're cheering him on from Northern California. Woo! Look at that big plume of smoke coming off the back. signature teal and blue, and Falcon tires have been here since day one, 2004, so it's great to see it. And if you can remember, last year's where Matt Field struck, using that Gears of War 4 vehicle that took him to the top of the podium, Ryan, where that, remember Field, this is where he started just firing, just killing it, going from Texas to here, back-to-back wins. Can Field do it again? Can he repeat here at the House of Drift?
Well, he definitely made a mockery of everybody in Texas and here at Irwindale by just winning the last 2 events of the year and really changing a lot of things in the championship. You can see he makes a little bit of a mistake there on that first inside clip. Matt knows this course very, very well here. He's deep into this second outer zone, using a little left foot brake there to get around, and then through that last inside clip, he's on that first hash mark. So this is a good start for Matt Field. He definitely has a better run in him, but a quality driver that is really strongly developed over the past couple of years, and one of my votes for a championship contender in the future.
Yeah.
But every year, as we've seen, Jared, guys dial things up. Here you go with the score here.
78 for Matt Field. Go ahead.
Guys dial things up. I think this year what we've seen with James Dean is he kind of introduced an external shock to the series and basically said, this is the level where I'm at. This is where my car preparation's at. And a lot of guys have had to make some adjustments to try to figure out how to beat James Dean. And I think that's really healthy for the series in general, to give guys something to shoot for. And I'm sure when we come back next year, no matter what happens here today, we're going to see another elevation in the series.
You know, here's the big question. I'm trying to think of the past champions. Has a 2JZ engine won a championship? I don't think so. But anyways, right now it's all about LS Supercharged. Alec Hanadel, fix your fuel. In Juku Racing, Hoonigan S14. He's on Nexen tires. He goes past that front clip, and now great angle from Hanadel. Another one of those just rising stars, and just, oh, buddy, it looks like he will hang on to it and drifts through.
So here we go, Alec Hanadel initiates there, starts off a little bit low on the bank, now moving his way up, stays inside that zone, transitioning here on that second hash mark through that first inside clip. Now he really does a great job here on the inner bank. You can see he locks into this line, gets good angle in the car. He's just about a foot off the wall there, right in between that first and second hash marker, then really angles up to avoid hitting the wall there, and does keep what seems to be control in the vehicle through the finish line. But scary moment there for Alec Hanadel, as run number 1 will be in the books for him.
I was reminded by Andy Yen here, one of the judges, that yeah, a 2JZ won with under the hood of Daigo Saito's vehicle. And coincidentally, I would consider what James Dean and his effect on the championship, I called it the Daigo effect, and I would say now you got the machine effect, man. James the Machine Dean brought a whole caliber of vehicle, and it just shows you, you can have it wound up, you can have it pinned out, but you got to keep it together.
Very, very similar as we take a look at this 83 here from Alec Hanadel. One thing that I was looking at when we were pulling historical clips from Irwindale in the past is that there was a point in Daigo's career, as short as it was in the first part of it, we'll see what happens in the future, right, is that he was undefeated here at Irwindale for 3 years in a row. That's right. He was a guy that basically would just come out and destroy everybody at the last event of the year, and there was a moment there where that had huge implications for other people's championship. Right. So yeah, the Daigo effect has now become the machine effect, and we'll see how it goes.
So again, that seems to be the reoccurring theme, but regardless of even the championship, I'm just really excited to see, we have our podium ceremony. It's going to be on track. It's already set up there, and just kind of sending this track off with well wishes and fond memories. So Alex Hilbrun, the Inca Madness Racing RTS BMW. He is on Nitto tires, and this was a driver who has really just progressed. I would say this car from last year to this year, from Pro 2 to now, Alex Hilbrun is a fun one to watch. Alex Hilbrun now on the bank. Nice job. Quick, snappy transition. Now quickly get into that second outer zone. Would like to see him closer to the wall there, Ryan. Doesn't seem to get all the way out to the zone. Does go tight to that front clip, so as I give him praise, Alex Hilbrun, a fun driver to watch, doesn't exactly get to the exact point he should be.
Yeah, it needs to be a little bit deeper in that second outer zone. And, it wasn't too long ago that we were talking about Alex as a real championship contender. He had that part of the year in April coming out of Long Beach and also at the Grand Prix where he won an event, got second place against Dean, and he just got shot out of the cannon. But here we see him on his first qualifying run. You could, like you said, a little bit deeper is needed to really fill that zone completely. The judges want to see you scrape that wall, get very close there. So he's got that inside zone, a little bit more work to do there, and he will get a score here. He will be in the top 32 no matter what, but looking to place as high as he possibly can. Like we saw with the top 10 drivers right now, there is just a very, very small amount of points separating 10th place to 3rd place.
Yeah,
I think
just the variance is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it could go any way depending on how people finish up.
Another 78. 78 seems to be a reoccurring score here from the judges, but I'd have to say that's kind of where everybody's shooting. So Alex Hilbrun with a 78. But yeah, I was just saying, it's crazy just the caliber of drivers. Talking to Chelsea DeNofa before today's practice, and he's just saying just the progression. It's all killer, no filler. The field is just so strong, and if you're gonna want to compete in Formula Drift, I'm going to put it out there. If we had top 16 drivers instead of a top 32 and we didn't have the bye runs, it would still be just all killer, no filler. We'd hurt some feelings, but not having those bye runs, how would that change the landscape? It's very interesting because people, they're like, oh, we don't have a 32-car field. Well, I got to say, because some are scared, dude. I mean, you really got to bring it here against these competitors. JTP, Justin Pollock, happy Friday 13th. He is car number 13, the Roush Performance. Falcon Tires, Ford Mustang of JTP. He was really impressing the judges earlier in practice, but I'd like to see him higher on that bank. Wow, Justin, you can hear that thing. It is wound up. He is hammering down in that second outer zone and then powering through the finish line. Woo! JTP, definitely a smoke machine, but another scenario of where it didn't seem like he was putting the car in the right places. Well,
historically speaking, Justin has always been one of the most exciting drivers to watch here. He's had some success. You can see right there a little bit less angle than you'd like to have. You want to see you maxing out the angle, staying up high near that wall, does a better job reconnecting that first inside clip. And right here, banging off the throttle, stays much deeper into the second outer zone. Great angle here. Full lock and then right through that first inside clip. So did a great job on the lower bank. Some slight improvements could be made on the big bank there, but we've seen Justin fight for championships in the past, and we've seen a lot of his driving over the course of this weekend in the past result in some of the most dynamic, exciting things, whether it's battles or we've seen wrecks from guys. Justin is one of those 100% all the time type guys, and it's one of the reasons why he's one of the top drivers in the series.
79, a 79 for Justin Pollock. Yeah, I mean the memory for me here with Justin Pollock is when basically Dai Yoshihara get the championship, got it wrapped up, boom, crashes. It's Justin Pollock's opportunity. It's his championship. Boom, he crashes. I actually did have expletive vocabulary at that event because of those two incidents, and that's why I remember it. But that's when Justin Pollock that was crazy.
That you're talking about the Dai championship year?
Yeah.
And then
it was Pollock's to have.
Tyler McCord it was Pollock, D-Mac, Dai, and those four, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly. And then Tyler McCory ended up winning that event.
Yep.
It was his last event with his old team, and him winning and beating D-Mac gave Dai the championship.
Crazy. Well, Chelsea DeNofa, and he was saying he's loving this car. He says, it's a soft setup. It's unique. We've seen the three-wheel motion all year, and we're going to see it again here at Irwindale, that BC Racing Ford Mustang RTR. Ford Performance, look at that, locking up that front left. You can see it coming to a halt. The Nitto tires go around. Man, he is flying through the track. These guys are really dancing with that wall after that final front clip. But Chelsea DeNofa, I mean, they've been expecting him to really deliver. He might do it here at Irwindale, man.
Well, for my money, he's been one of the most exciting drivers to watch this year. You can see on the bank, he kind of starts off high, goes down low a little bit, then brings it back up. But his driving is so aggressive and dynamic. It's right on the razor's edge every time. And when he pulls off what he's intending to do, it's just stuff you just really don't see that often. Stuff like this right here, going way deep, big angle. They're nearly hitting the wall, but making it look stylish and cool, and starting off with a pretty solid run. And we know that he's got a better one in him.
Again, this is run one. If you're just tuning in, we are live here at Irwindale Speedway, the House of Drift. And 87 for Chelsea DeNofa, and 87 for Chelsea DeNofa. You can see ATD wheels, centerline alloy wheels on a suit. Ford Performance as Chelsea will have a second go. Again, this is the first run for the drivers right now. It's Peter Vincic, a Formula Drift rookie in that Wordhouse Drift Team 2JZ Power. Looks almost identical to our current points leader and potential 2017 Formula Drift champion. But Peter Vincic from Poland. Now initiating into the bank. Big angle there from Vincic. See how he handles. Whoa, nice. Got snappy. I don't know, he might have been a little too early there. Oh, checked up. So, yeah, looked a bit awkward. So it caused him to throw him off of that second outer zone. Let's take a look at this again here, Ryan. So that front clip causing another driver an issue. We saw Gucci do the opposite drift. Watch him check up here.
Well, you can see he starts off pretty decently here. A nice smooth transition, gets an angle in the vehicle, mid-high line on the bank. And as he comes down off the bank here, he transitions a bit early and has to kind of make an adjustment there. And then as he tries to swing back around, using that momentum to get into the inner bank, just doesn't have enough to push himself out towards that wall. So it'll be a mistake for him there. Looks like he will have some areas to improve on the inner bank for the next run around. And certainly he's got a better run in him. So we'll see how this goes for Peter, but having a little bit of a struggle there after that first inside clip.
Yeah, they just kind of getting over and talking with the judges. We're up in the booth, and the sun is bright, so that could be an issue and a factor here for the drivers when they transition, and that could have been what happened there. All right, scores are in for Peter Vincic, and a 59. So unfortunately for the Polish driver, a 59 is his first run score, but as I said earlier with Chelsea, he will have a second run alongside all the other drivers. Now, Ryan, we are, if I can recall, currently ranked 11th in the points because I could see Forsberg warming his tires. Man, Dean Carney and his team, hat tip to them. They have been working so hard. They've had some gremlins, but man, you know what? They've shaken them off. And again, these guys worked till 6 in the morning from last night to today. I'll tell you about it in a moment as we watch Dean Carney throw down. Nice job, Oracle Lighting, Achilles Radial Dodge Viper. Past that front clip, would like to see a little bit more angle there, but liking what he's doing here. Really powering through. Would like to see, you know, he hates his wings. I mean, if I'm his wing, I'm scared, because I say he hates his wing because it seems like every event he just knocks them off.
Yes, many fences and walls and signage hate his wing as well. But very stylish vehicle here, and you can see it's serving Dean Carney very well as he gets nice and high up on that bank. Great job there. Nice smooth transition back around. Very tight on that first inside clip. I love the way that he's managing to get from turn to turn, making it look smooth. A little bit deeper into that second outer zone is what we'd like to see, but overall this is a good first run for Dean Carney. And like you said, Jared, the team worked so hard from yesterday, had some problems today. To get it back out there and just put a run together is a feat within itself. So we're seeing all these drivers go at 110% to try to make sure that they find themselves in competition.
Yeah, most recently broke an axle after his first practice run, and then through the night, there's a wow, that's odd, another 78. But his team working through the night because basically their supercharger, they had issues with it. They went to go look at it, had different internals. So they had to swap the internals from the other one into the other supercharger. That's just, these guys are working feverishly. Another team right here, Chris Forsberg, that NOS Energy Drink 370Z, his VQ setup being debuted halfway through the season, that anti-lag setup. But his team, he went hard into the wall yesterday in the bank, or on the bank, I should say. So I know him and his team thrashing on their car. And also keep in mind, Nameless Performance operates his car, and Ryan Turk popped his engine. So their team was pulled all across Southern California here working on the cars, as Forsberg is now pulling a run here, his first run in that NOS Energy Drink 370Z operated by Nameless Performance on hand-cooked tires. Good job on that outer zone, does get deep, really tight to that front clip. There's that. So another Irwindale moment for me is Forsberg when he won here in that Sylvia and the tire caught fire. You remember that?
Yeah, well, Forsberg and fires seem to go hand in hand and always create some exciting moments, not just the Sylvia, but also back at Road Atlanta and a lot of other places where fantastic things happen. A good start here for Chris. He's on that mid-high line on the bank. Nice and smooth transition to that first inside clip. Great job here on the inner bank. You can see really trying to reach that back bumper as close as he can. Comes off a tiny bit early there, and then there's the fire coming off the left rear wheel.
Wow.
But as he pushes through the finish line, you can see just a few little embers remaining there. So for Chris Forsberg, a good start from him, and he'll have another run to go. And we've seen for him, you know, it's been more or less an admitted developmental year for him. Last event, it finally clicked for him, got on that podium, got that second place after 6 podiums last year, 3 championships, pretty much the most winningest driver in terms of championships in the history of Formula Drift. So excited to see what the offseason brings for him and what he's going to bring to the series next year.
Yeah, no, most definitely, and that VQ engine setup is it's just changing the game. But an 86, a great score for him, and 86 for Chris Forsberg. Currently puts him into the #2 position as we make our way into the currently ranked top 10 drivers, as Forsberg coming to this round was ranked 10th. Matt Kaufman, put him in a Kaufman. Here we go, 959. I was really expecting some big things from him at Texas. Some wavering here out of the gate, but dropping down quite a bit here. That Ford V8 powered S13. Very fun driver to watch. He's coming in hot here, that second outer zone. Seemed shaky on the first portion, but now seeming cool, calm, and collected. World War Kaufman. As Matt crosses the finish line. Liking the dark black chrome front nose, looking like a fighter pilot as we look at this again. So you saw that right there. He had some wavering, comes down off the bank, and now seems to find his happy place. Goes into that outer zone. You see him tapping the brakes quickly. Pretty close to the wall. All right, a nice job there by Matt Kaufman. All right, so waiting for the scores for Matt Kaufman. And Matt Kaufman with a 77. All right, so Kaufman with a 77. And moving on to our next driver, Daijiro Yoshihara, turn 14 distribution, Falcon Tire, Subaru BRZ. All right, so next up on the start line is Daijiro Yoshihara. As you can see, the sun is setting. Dai Yoshihara, he was one of those fond memories I've seen, and he's been competing here since 2004. He knows this track very well from a variety of vehicles, from S13 to 14s. S13 took him to a championship, to even a Pontiac GTO. All right, Dai Yoshihara. Screeching his way past that front clip. Whoa, buddy, dancing on the yellow line. Some corrections there into that second outer zone. And that's what the judges talk about, making it look scary, getting to that razor's edge and just causing for a trim. Don't cut yourself there, Dai. So let's take a look at this again. Quickly initiates, now turns on the smoke machine, works his way up. You can see how far that wing actually extends past the car too. It's kind of tricky there past that front clip. Would have liked to see him max out the angle. Seems like he checked up a little bit and almost threw himself into that wall. Taps and takes out that final front clip. But Dai Yoshihara, when that car runs well and it's up to snuff, seems that he is a guy to beat. 86 and 86 for Dai Yoshihara. All right, right now on the line is the Gum Out hand-cooked tires, nameless performance, Toyota Racing GT86. Valvoline running through the veins. Here we go. Ryan Turk from New Hampshire. Let's see what you got. Again, Ryan Turk and his team firing off those cannons out the back. The 2JZ engine popping it, so him and his team working on the vehicle through the night to get it back out here and running. The O'Reilly Auto Parts title fight. The championship will be crowned tomorrow. Nice job by Ryan Turk. Blending into that wall. Again, a champion will be crowned tomorrow night, as well as an overall victor here at the House of Drift.
Well, Turk's car is a really good vehicle to listen to understand where the drivers are on and off throttle. Clearly big throttle here. You can see he's nice and high on the bank. Now coming off the transition, still throttle here, and then right here you're going to be a little bit of a lift, adjust, back on throttle, and then a second little lift right here as they come off this inside bank right about here, and then back on throttle through the finish line. Now those areas, as we see Ryan Turk finish up a really solid run, those areas we're going to be pointing out tomorrow in head-to-head as the deceleration areas where the drivers in the chase position know what the lead driver more or less can or can't do in these particular areas.
Well, he's driving a Toyota Racing Toyota GT86, so why not give him the score of 86? Ryan Turk, hey, buddy. So, yeah, as Ryan Turk finishes out his run, we are seeing Michael Essa, a former Formula Drift champion, Essa Autosports Achilles Radial BMW. Looking strong there from, talking about Michael Essa here, getting back behind the wheel of a BMW. Seems like he found his happy place as well. So here comes Michael Essa through that start chicane. Initiates into the bank. And there he goes, throwing some more angle on it halfway through. Pulls down into that first front clip. Well done, very smooth. Not very aggressive or flicky. Whoa, look at that. You can see him shredding some fiberglass. Shred it, bro. Past that final front clip, and Essa getting a little body work there. Look at that back end, getting thrashed.
Well, this has been a top-notch year for Michael Essa. A lot of strong performances, just looking great overall. Here he is on his first qualifying run. Starts off mid, moves up higher towards the bank. Big throttle here through this first inside clip, right on that second hash mark. And then basically right back on the throttle through the inside bank here. Taps the wall, keeps angle in the vehicle. No major perturbation there off the wall. And then on that second hash mark there, throttle through the finish line. So nice job right there by Michael Essa. Good start for him.
All right, so as we wait for Michael Essa's score, I can see Vaughn Gittin Jr. warming up his Nitto tires. And 88, Michael Essa is our current #1 qualifier. So it seems that, you know, the Mike Essa smooth past that front clip. You can see where he is minus some points there, but smooth past the front clip, aggressive on that second, showed good car control, just put it together. There's still a lot of points available out there on the track, I would think.
And you can certainly see that the judges want you to get near the wall. They want you to scrape the wall, and they're willing to allow you to have some minor adjustments to the vehicle as long as you keep the vehicle in lock there. So for Michael Essa, solid start for him.
So you can see the current leaderboard there. Essa out front, Denofa right behind him with an 87. So they know, when I say they, meaning the Mustang RTR team, knowing that they could throw down. So Vaughn Gittin Jr. taking some tips from Chelsea Denofa, I have to assume. Into that second outer zone. What do you got, Vaughn? He's flirting with that wall, just saying, how are you doing? And now past that final front clip, gets tight to that first hash mark, closest to the front clip. Pretty solid run there. Didn't cause any body damage, but you don't necessarily need to do that.
Well, the consistency, I think, is real key here. You can see nice initiation. He's on that line that is going up in trajectory higher to the wall. And then as he transitions, very tight on that first inside clip, back on throttle here, and then not tapping the wall, but so close to the wall, all the way through the zone, right here through that first hash mark, running his left wheel right out there, and then through the finish line. So yes, a good, solid first run for Vaughn Gittin Jr. overall for him.
Looking like a scene from Star Wars here. Right? Doesn't it look like a little Tatooine going on right now? Yeah.
That's not a moon.
Vaughn Gittin Jr. with an 83. An 83 currently puts him into 7th position. That Monster Energy Nitto Tire Ford Performance Mustang RTR. Vaughn Gittin Jr. currently 5th in points as we now advance on. So this is a vehicle that was initially going to be debuted as next year's competition car, from what I understand. It's called the Eurofighter. Christos Blush from Latvia behind the wheel. HGK Eurofighter. This thing is beautiful. Carbon Kevlar, the full thing. Great looking car. It's a shame you got to cover it with stickers, but you have sponsors to pay, bills to pay, so it's cool to see. And so again, NOS blew up the engine last night. You know what? Let's pull it out. Here we go. The first time ever you're seeing this car run here in Formula Drift. Christos Blush in contention for a top 3 finish in the Formula Drift Championship. So no holds barred here for Christos Blush into that second outer zone. Dialed, eyes on the prize. And Christos, don't hit the wall, please. Has really tight to that front clip. Great execution. I mean, shoot. Christos looks like he's been driving this thing for years.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely was Christos Blush style type driving, even though he just picked up the car from the port yesterday.
Wow.
I mean, a crazy story here. You can see nice and high on the bank there, huge angle in the car, smooth transition to that first inside clip, flirts with the wall right there, and then tucks it right into the pocket. Could be a little bit deeper, but you can't get too much on him here on the first run. Overall solid performance, and a great story to see him out-competing as opposed to being out of competition.
Yeah, and it bears repeating. He is in contention for a top 3 2017 Formula Drift Championship. So you know, he's going up against the likes of Odie, and we saw the standings earlier. But Christos wants to throw down. You can see, look at that, like helicopter going across. This is a kind of a unique setting. Also, our hearts and thoughts are with those in Northern California and during the fires, those here in Southern California and during the fires, those flooded in Harvey, as well as we are doing an auction. I'll get more details on that. 82 and 82 for Christos Blush. If you haven't already, go to Instagram's Facebook or Instagram. There's an eBay auction. All the proceeds are going towards flood relief. This is really cool. We're getting a lot of cool products and properties, including a photo shoot with Larry Chen from Speed Hunters, and Larry Chen, infamous photographer, but a signed helmet from AEM. AEM, a sponsor of Christos Blush. That's what reminded me of it. But go to formuladrift.com. There's more information on how you can give back by even receiving something very unique and cool, and again, giving towards a good cause, and that's flood relief. So again, our hearts and thoughts and prayers are with all those across the globe just enduring some crazy natural disasters. As right now, we are seeing Odie Bakshis. Odie Bakshis currently 3rd in the standings. Throws it down. The Falcon Tires drifts wheels. S14. Works his way up the bank. Right, listen to that throttle. Some wavering there. Wasn't the cleanest past that front clip. Now looking really rock solid. Could be a little bit closer, about a quarter car distance, and powers through the finish line.
Well, prior to Seattle, Odie made some adjustments, I think, and overall, we've seen the second half of the season, his performance just really elevate. He's got those podiums in the back pocket from the past couple rounds, and you can see here why. A great job on the bank there. A little bit of a flub coming through that first inside clip, but overall, his strong performance here. Pretty deep into that second outer zone, comes off and just, I mean, literally right on that inside clip without hitting it. So good job by Odie Bakshis here in run number 1. And of course, he's got that second run to go as we find our way getting into the top 5 gentlemen here. Frederick Osbo, our second place in the championship points. Odie Bakshis sitting in 3rd, and an 87 for Odie Bakshis, putting him in 3rd, matching his championship position right now. So good start for Odie Bakshis, and just 2 drivers left to go here in run number 1 of qualifying.
All right, so as Ryan just said, we are now getting to the top 5 drivers, but right now, currently standing 2nd in points. He definitely needs to qualify in order to go for that 2017 championship overall win. He does have a previous championship victory, in previous years, but the debut vehicle, or the debut year for this particular vehicle, the Rockstar Energy Drink, Toyota Corolla IM on Nexen tires, throws down the hot hatchback, getting into the bank, holds stumped as is saying, and right now he is definitely doing that. Past that front clip. Max angle, look at that. Well done by Fredrik Aasbo, the Norwegian hammer. Wow, really close to that front clip. And well executed by Fredrik Aasbo. Again, in order for him to get the championship, he would basically need to win the event.
Well, you know, it doesn't even really matter what happens at this event, I think, for Aasbo, if he pulls it out or not, or whatever happens between him and Dean. This has been a tremendous season for him, the debut year of this vehicle, and to come out and be not only in contention, but pull away from some of the field, and it just be a fight between Dean and Fredrik Aasbo is a huge accomplishment by himself and Papadakis Racing. And you can see there in his qualifying run overall, very few mistakes. He rolled right up on the big bank. He was nice and tight on that first inside clip. His transition into the inner bank was very smooth. He got back on the throttle early, and he pushed all the way through. So expect this to be a top score here for Fredrik Aasbo.
Let's see what Aasbo's got. Very clean run. And next up will be our current points leader, an 89 for Fredrik Aasbo. And let it be noted that when we came into this round, we had 28 drivers. So that would mean that we have 4. So the top 4 qualifiers would get bye runs from the 32, would not need to compete in 32 and get a fast pass into the top 16. But from what I understand, Juha Rintanen did not run in practice, so he probably won't run here in qualifying. But right now, all eyes are on that of James Dean. But right now, you can see our top 5 drivers. So those top 5, as it stands right now, if Juha Rintanen does not run, those top 5 guys we'd see next in top 16. Who wants to spoil that? James Dean. James Dean, this is essentially a championship on the line for him. He needs to throw down a qualifying run. He needs to run tomorrow, and he will be your 2017 Formula Drift champion here at the O'Reilly Auto Parts title fight. Wordhouse Drift Team Falcon tires, Irish driver, haven't seen him in numerous years, comes back in dominant fashion, and he goes into that second outer zone. You can see the Falcon tire plume just firing off the back end of the Silvia S15, bringing into that front clip. And Ryan Sage moving one step closer to being a 2017 Formula Drift champion.
Well, there's no doubt that he's proved himself this year time and time again. He's got those 4 wins, and after the first event in Long Beach, I think people are wondering if it was just going to be a fluke and just kind of go into the
one-hit wonder.
A one-hit wonder, but no, it wasn't that. He was consistent, strong, the reliability of the vehicle, and look at this here, nice and high on the bank, nearly scraping the wall, transitions off the bank through that first inside clip, moves in here into the inner bank, gets back on the throttle, and very deep into this zone as well. And so you can see just here the car control. One of the things I've noticed about James overall is that when he gets himself into a tight position in tandem where it looks like he might hit the guy because the guy had too much angle in front of him, he somehow or another pulls it off and keeps the run going. And so I think the car control has been a really big factor, and we've seen some really high marks from him this year, and I imagine that this qualifying run is going to be up there as well.
Yeah, by no means is he a one-hit wonder. I'd say I'm a quad-hit killer at this point. He has 4 wins, 91, boom, a #1 qualifier. So again, 4 wins this year. If he holds that position, he will basically, be your 2017 champion, but the rule states you need to roll and have your run. So essentially, if he stays in that position, if qualifying was done, because it's not yet, because every driver has 2 runs, if he stays in that position, he would get a bye and a fast pass in the top 16, and essentially his top 32 bye run would be a celebratory lap, and he would be your 2017 Formula Drift champion. So. All right, so we are back to the bottom. All right, so back to the bottom of the standings and where the drivers came in. Again, Farouk from Northern California, Nexen Tires, STR Racing Wheels, BMW. Great to see him back out here. We saw him in Texas, but debuting that car in Texas at Texas Motor Speedway. He does have a score on the board, so as it stands right now, we are seeing actually 25 drivers. Gucci has a 0. All right, here we go. Farouk leaving the start line. Again, look at that top 5 leaderboard. James Dean, Frederick Osbo, Michael Essa, Chelsea Denofa, Odi Bakshis. That is after run 1 of qualifying. Farouk initiating way low on the bank, wavering, and looks like that will be a goose egg for Farouk, but he does have a score on the board. If I can recall, I believe it was a 50, but so again, we'll see him in top 32 competition tomorrow. All right, so we want to give back to you, the Formula Drift fans. Win a set of wheels, drifts, hardcore wheels for the street. How, you might ask? Well, tag a photo of you watching this weekend's event, hashtag FD Drifts. That is spelled DRIFZ 17. Again, hashtag FD Drifts 17. Enter to win a free set of drifts wheels. You're already here. You're taking photos. Tag those photos. Hashtag FD Drift 17. Win a set of wheels, just like as run on Odi Bakshis' Falcon Tires S14. A real contender here in the Formula Drift Championship. All right, so again, and also, why not, if you are into a different breed of wheel, these centerline alloy wheels, we'll let you know how to win those as well. All right, so right now, Dan Burkett, Rad Dan, as he is deemed, Rad Industries is his company. We'll see how rad he gets out here on the track behind the wheel of his Nexen Tires Toyota Supra. All right, here we go. Rad Dan initiating into the bank. Yeah, working his way up in that beautiful looking Toyota Supra. Past the front clip, he goes. Could have hung it out there a little longer. Would like to see him max out that angle. And now hammering down. And Ryan, as you said, he's one of those drivers that comes out to the Thursday night drifts, takes advantage, because here at Irwindale Thursday night drifts open session, have at it. Yeah, a lot of different course configurations. I love his approach here on the big bank, and you can see he moves his way up nice and high there. Great job coming down off the bank. Could have been a little bit tighter there on that first inside clip. And then through this section of the course here, pretty deep, fills that zone. Nice job on that final inside clip, and great throttle all the way through. All right, so Rad Dan awaiting his score as Pat Gooden is on the start line. Let's see what we got here. Dan Burkett, an 83, so definitely betters his first score from a 58 to an 83. You can see the signature mullet and grin. Very mellow, chill. Dan Burkett gets an 83 on his second run. There's the centerline alloy wheels I was talking about. How can you win a set of wheels from centerline alloy wheels? Well, hashtag FD Centerline 17. Enter to win a free set of centerline muscle car wheels as run by Chelsea Denofa on his BC Racing Nitto Tires Ford Mustang RTR. Again, courtesy of ATDwheels.com. All right, Pat Gooden, Black Magic Intense. Don't camp in here. Hankook Tires, O'Reilly Auto Parts S13. See him working that left foot brake. Really kind of, he is massaging that thing. Huddy Racing operating his vehicle. Now coming to that second outer zone. Way off of that outer bank is Pat Gooden. He does have a good score on his first run. That will not better it, Ryan. Yeah, it was a good start for Pat, but the inside bank and the finish line, I think, are going to go really against him here. You can, like you said, Jared, a lot of left foot brake there, trying to utilize the tools of his vehicle, get his car where he wants it through this first inside clip here. Now watch this as he gets down on the bank, he loses some angle, pulls some angle out of the car, tries to almost kind of reinitiate here, and then as he comes around this last inside clip, right here he's going to lose angle and go straight through the finish line. So. Yep. In my book, that's incomplete, but we'll see what the judges say. Yeah, I heard murmurs over there saying that it would be a score of a 0, so it would be an incomplete run. So there it is. Pat Gooden does get that incomplete run. All right, so, oh man, so next up was to be Cameron Moore. Next up was to be Cameron Moore, but unfortunately he has broken, and his father is his spotter, and he's saying that, man, he's had some bad luck, and that's been the 5th time this weekend. So Cameron Moore looks like he is broken. He does have a score on his first run. Yeah, so right now what has happened is Cameron Moore not only broke, but he did spill some oil in the burnout box. So again, we're going to take a short break here. All right, so again, Cameron Moore suffers a mechanical failure. He drops some oil there in the burnout box, and we will be cleaning that up. So Casual Friday here. This place should be bananas tomorrow night. Thanks for joining us out here at the House of Drift, Irwindale, California. The 14th season coming to an end tomorrow night here. The banquet will be Sunday. And it's just been one for the books. Again, James Dean, his, you know, I wouldn't say dominance, but just a strong show of force. The luck of the Irish is definitely on his side, but it doesn't take luck to win a championship. It takes a lot of skill, talent, perseverance, traveling, and a lot of seat time there from James Dean. All right, again, this place is going to be bananas tomorrow night, but right now we want to get back to you. We want you to potentially win a Blackview dash camera. How can you do that? Text to win. And you are going to text BV as in Blackview, IRW as in Irwindale 1, BV IRW 1 to 38714 for a chance to win a free Blackview dash camera. It must be 18 or over to enter. Retail value nearly $379. So again, text BV IRW 1 to 38714. Also, pick up your signed autograph wallets, the Formula Drift Takata wallets. Find yours at takataracing.com. Signed by Frederick Osbo, Chris Forsberg, Ken Gucci, Mad Mike Woodit, and Ryan Turk. Contractually, I need to say it like that too. Mike's saying Mad Mike. You have to say it like that. Kyle Mohan, Mazda Tricks, built to Apex. Mazda MX-5, Top 1 oil. There are standings: James Dean, Frederick Osbo, Essa, Denofa, Bakshis, top 5. Robin Ishida, looks like he's warming up his tires. So again, thank you for your patience. We are back to being live here at Irwindale Speedway, the House of Drift. Had some oil in the burnout box, and now it's cleared up. Obviously, as Mohan lights a fire underneath his MX-5. Woo! Way off course is Mohan, brings it back on. That could have gone south very quick when he went north. And fortunately, he kept it off the wall, but Mohan loses his way here in his MX-5.
Well, I think this is potentially going to be one of those areas where the judges are going to utilize their discretion here on this particular run in terms of giving an incomplete. You can see the yellow painted lines designating the outline of the course. You can see Mohan goes clearly 4 off there, and then 3 off right here, so he's completely off course. And though he is able to pull the run together, it is a good thing that he has that score from run number 1, because my gut is telling me this is going to be an incomplete.
Yeah. Kyle Mohan with a 67 for Kyle the Menace Mohan. Oh, sorry, 67 on his first run. So just taking a look at that, and all right, so his first score will stand to be the better of the 2. Let's see what Robbie Nishida's got. Nishida with an 82 on his first run. And, you know, with this being his swan song, his final, what he's called his final Formula Drift season, final round here at the House of Drift, Irwindale, California. Definitely an institution here with really created and forged a great relationship with Achilles Radial. Really integrated role when bringing Daigo Saito over, but we'd love to see him on the podium. And what a fairy book story that would be if Robbie Nishida takes it to the top and gets on the podium here in this Jerry Yang Racing Top 1 Oil Achilles Radial GTR. Comes in that second outer zone. Again, an 82 on his first run. Can he better it right now? Don't know if exactly this will be superior to his previous run, Ryan.
Well, had a little bit of trouble there on the inner bank, and he does have that solid score of an 82. Just puts him outside the top 10. Let's take a look at the run here from the beginning. You can see the initiation, slow roll into it, kind of making some adjustments in the vehicle, angle adjustments in the vehicle as he gets up on the bank. Nice angle there through that first inside clip, but then as he transitions, gets back on the throttle, he finds himself on a much lower line. Excuse me. Much lower line here. Takes out that second inside clip just by a little bit, and then through the finish line there for Robbie Nishida. So second run in the books, he's done for the day, and let's see where he ends up in the top 32.
It's an 82 on his first run, stands to be the better of the 2. A 75. So what a great story if Robbie Nishida would win. I would say it'd have to be a great fairy tale story, not a fairy story book. Of all people, the Canadian actually corrects me. I go, what do you mean of all people? He says, hey, Ryan, you got those organic Oreos I see, dude?
Yeah, they're back in the mix.
They're back in the
expect
mix.
a Canadian level broadcast.
Yeah. The all organic, non-GMO Oreos are in the mix. Here we go. Jeff Jones. Double J, relentless, tapping the wall. Shred it, bro. Jeff Jones, Doc, Hankook Tires, S14. Love this dude. I want to see him throw down. Love to see Double J on the podium, man. Look at him. Getting wild with it, flapping. Fiberglass flapping in the wind, hitting that back tire. Wraps it around. Definitely an exciting run there from Jones.
So you can see there a little love tap on the wall with Jeff Jones. It's caused him to go down a little bit low here, but driving with fury as he comes off the bank. Just a bit long there on that first inside clip. Now on the inner bank here is Jones. Pretty good job there, staying deep into that latter part of that zone, and then through that final inside clip. Smooth line there. So a couple little flubs, including a wall tap for Jeff Jones, but overall gets through it relatively unscathed, and we'll see what kind of score he gets on run number 2.
All right, you can see the smoke lingering here, and the scores are in. For Jeff Jones, 73 on his second run. His first run is 75. Stands to be the better of the two. Currently puts him into number 21 position. Jardot Metaldam, Toyota Racing, Toyota GT86. All right, so Jonathan Castro from Dominican Republic. You can see him ripping it into the bank, getting high, and now drops into that front clip. Woo! Look at the flick of the wrist into that second outer zone. Inches his way closer to that outer wall, about the second hash mark there from Castro. Comes unwound. Let's look at this again, Ryan. Break it down.
Jonathan Castro here, run number 2. Initiates, gets right back on throttle. Just goes right up to the edge of the wall there, fills that zone. Through this first inside clip here, right on that second hash mark. Good transition back around, back on throttle. A little bit of a flub there. Kicks the rear of the vehicle out towards the wall. And then right through that second inside clip goes Jonathan Castro through the finish line. Strong overall performance for him. And now he'll be able to go back into the pit and prepare for tomorrow's competition.
Okay, so right now we are seeing Ken Gucci. Looks like he is in the burnout box. And Castro 77 on his second run, but his first run of a 78 is the better of the two. The Goosh, Ken Gucci, Greddy Performance Nexen Tires, Toyota Racing, Toyota GT86. Yeah, a lot of pressure here. Thank you for reminding me, Ryan. A 0 on Ken Gucci's first run. This is do or die for Ken Gucci. He needs to get a score in order to advance on into the 32. Ken Gucci initiates. No pressure here from him. Definitely feel the tension in the air. See how it transitions. A lot better. Still kind of, you know, wasn't exactly opposite drift, but wasn't as textbook as we've seen. Again, Ken Gucci been competing here since 2004 and even previous to that. But has been competing in Formula Drift since the conception.
Well, here's the initiation from Ken Gucci. You can see he's on a mid-high line on the bank here. Got a little sketchy kind of right there. You didn't really know what was going to happen. Did come off the zone a bit early. Got into a really weird part of the course. This section of the course, though, as he comes on the inner bank, much better here. Looks a lot more fluid and stable. You can see the attitude of the car is projecting the direction of where it's going. And so Ken Gucci will get a score. He's out of deep waters for now, and we'll move on to tomorrow's competition.
All right, so Ken Gucci looks like he will be receiving a score. Not seeing any major reactions from the judges and seeing their heads down. So analyzing the run. And Gucci with an 82, so a very strong score there for Ken Gucci on his second run. All right, so we are seeing Matt Field on the start line. Falcon Tires, the Drift Cave, Lucas Oil, Vape Tasia, S14. Rotiform wheels on the corners and Falcon Tire rubbers wrapping them up. Again, you can see the top 5. James Dean still leads the pack, 91, 89, 88. Where is Matt Field going to land? He won this event last year. You know he's got it in him. Flame shooting out of the back. The Beast from the Bay showing his fangs. Nice job up there on the bank. Absolutely pinned down, hammered down is Matt Field. Awesome composure here from Matt Field. Can he take the lead from James Dean? That 91 as Matt Field, woo! Make some noise for Matt Field, the Beast from the Bay, showing up in grand fashion.
Well, Matt Field loves this track here. You can see as he starts off on this mid-high line on the bank, huge throttle right up against the wall there, fills the entire zone. Full commitment coming down through that first inside clip. He's on the second hash mark there. And then through the inside, he pushes harder and harder through this section of the course. Nice line here. Very tight on that final inside clip, and great overall job by Matt Field.
Yeah, Matt Field's one of those drivers just over the years progressing, you know, getting behind the wheel of vehicles over in Japan, over in China. You know, he's traveling all over. Another one of those drivers just really drifting the world, and that seems to be just a growing trend. If it's James Dean, if it's Forsberg, Von Gittin Jr., you know, Frederick Osbo, you know, all the top drivers are really, you know, they're competing in the Formula Drift Championship, but they're getting more seat time in different sanction bodies. And 88, well, I'm actually kind of surprised by that score. I'd like to see, so I mean, look at that, 31, 32, and 25. So some points left in the line category angle. So an 88, I'd like to see a higher score for that, but again, that's what the judges have dictated. So still but it does put him into the top 4, so that's a good position to be. Yeah, I mean, just a few off. Yeah, 3 points off, but that's where you start to split hairs. Alec Honadale, fix your fuel, Nexen Tires S14. Let's see, what are we gonna see from Mr. Honadale? Now slowly works his way up there. Looks like he might have tapped it. You can see that headlight poking out just out of camera view there. And now really getting personal with that outer zone. Honadale, whoa, buddy, lifting up, throwing sparks. Does cross the finish line, but some collateral damage there on Honadale's vehicle.
Well, 2 areas on the course where he made contact, and it did have a little bit of an impact on his run. Though very exciting here. As you can see, he's on this midline. As he moves up to the wall, he's pushing hard, pushes a little bit too hard, and drops that right rear tire over the line after he makes contact. Now, as he comes down on the inner bank here, you can see he's going to start moving towards this outer wall. He taps it right there, taps it again, and then through the finish line, right here, you can see the back just lift up for a second. Sparks fly a little bit, and he finishes up the run. So very exciting there from Alec Honadale. A little bit of debris down on course, it seems. And we'll see what that does for his score on run number 2.
Some debris.
Debris and spikes.
What spikes?
That's what I said. I misspoke. Sparks.
Okay. Debris and spikes.
His spikes are coming out.
Oh, no, his spikes. Oh, the organic Oreos are kicking in, Ryan. Lick, twist them off. Ryan Sage just actually eats just the cream out of the center of the Oreos. Just throws away the cookies. No, I think he ate the whole thing. All right, so as we are patiently waiting, what's your focus? Enter to win a 2017 Ford Focus RS. Enter now. Ford Performance. Again, go to Ford What's Your Focus Sweeps.com. Again, for official rules, please visit whatsyourfocussweeps.com/rules. Enter to win a 2017 Ford Focus RS. All right, speaking of Ford, here is the Roush Performance Ford Mustang. Hashtag Roush Drift. JTP is just getting a lot of fans over the years. A very aggressive style. Seemed like he took it down a little bit, but knowing Pollock, he wants to get out there. There's Honadale score, an 87. An 87 for Honadale. Does better his first run of an 83. And right now, this is JTP, Roush Performance. Again, hashtag Roush Drift. This car was debuted at SEMA last year, and from what I understand, you're going to want to take a look at Roush Performance on social media and hashtag Roush Drift. Take some photos of this ripper right here. Falcon tires, Lucas Oil Ford Mustang. Flicking it in. Oh, some wavering there. You saw that big faint entry, but now looks like he's locked and loaded, working his way up top. Beautiful carbon fiber weave shining in the light. Man, that camera shot really just shows how violent the driving is, and across the finish line. Ryan, looks like on initiation had a little bit of a correction there. Let's take a look at this again.
Let's take a look at this here, Jared. Snappy initiation, a big rate to angle, but he has to pull some angle out of it. Just didn't have it all the way there. And great job by him getting up very high on the bank towards the end on that inside clip. Nice move down here on the inside, getting very close to the wall there as he fills that zone completely, right underneath our cameraman there, and then through that last inside clip. So great job there by Justin Pollock.
All right, so Justin Pollock awaiting his score, and we have our next driver on the start line. An 89, look at that. Justin Pollock jumps up, currently sitting in second. And still leaving 5 points in line category. You can see that 3 points in style. So really shining in the style category. And angle leaving about 3 points, or 3 points exactly. Another Ford product here behind the wheel. Chelsea Denofa, BC Racing, Nitto Tires, Ford Performance Mustang RTR. The RTR team. And here comes Chelsea Denofa. Again, these guys, two Ford Mustangs, but two very different driving styles and setups. And Chelsea throws it into the wall. Nice job by Denofa. Past the front clip. The exhaust note, if you can hear it, is just echoing through. Irwindale, woo, look at that. Well done by Denofa, slamming into. And Ryan talking to Chelsea before qualifying here, he said he already went through his allotment of back bumpers yesterday.
His allotment.
His allotment. I think that's 6.
Yeah,
so he's like, let's park this thing before I take it too hard into the wall.
Well, he does a really solid job on the big bank. You can see he taps the wall on initiation, stays super high there, very aggressive driving. And as he gets down on the lower bank here, he's going to just get ever so close, but fill that zone completely. And then right here, smash. Woo! But keeps angle in the car. It'll just be a slight deduction there. That's very exciting. And a nice job by Chelsea Denofa overall, once again showing just that very high level driving, exciting driving, full throttle all the way through. I like the allotment idea. That kind of reminds me of like
a 98, boom, near perfect for Chelsea Denofa, a 98. Only 1 point off in line, 1 point off in style. Ryan, do you think that's well-deserved?
It was definitely probably one of the most exciting runs. We've obviously seen the judges lay down what they're looking for here. I think, you know, tapping the wall towards the end. Should be a little bit of a deduction there. Maybe went a little bit high, but overall, very, very exciting run by Chelsea Denofa.
All right, so as we are seeing Peter Vincik, our next driver. All right, so Peter Vincik from Poland throws it in. Nice job, a lot more composure from the first one. He had some mistakes there on his first run, so I know he wants to step it up. But look at how each driver truly is. Peter Vincik rising to the occasion. You can see a 59 on his first score. That's definitely going to be higher than a 59.
Wow, that was a really amazing run by Peter here. Very smooth initiation. He gets immediately on throttle. Look at the line he's drawing here. Very high on the bank. Fills that zone, runs that right rear wheel right on the line, and then super tight on that first inside clip. Now here, big throttle, taps the wall here. Just maybe a foot off the zone towards the end there, but wraps around that first inside, or that second inside clip rather, and then full throttle all the way through. Great job there by Peter Vincik.
Ryan's looking into his crystal ball and kind of seeing where he'll land. Chelsea Denofa with that 98 currently leads the pack. Still a few drivers. Peter Vincik ranked 12th in standings, as right now we're seeing Dean Carnage. And when I made the oh, here we go. It's in its safety and making sure that his eyes are on the prize. I am Batman. Sorry, just his vehicle looks menacing. It almost looks like the Batmobile. Hi, I'm Dean Carney. I work only in black and very, very dark gray. All right, so Dean Carney, Oracle Lightning, Achilles Radial, Dodge Viper. The Oracle lights are on. Let's see if he lights them up into the wall. Again, showing no regard for his wing. Let's see if he lives up to what I just called. There it is, see? Hi. There it goes. The winglet goes awry, and like to see bigger angle there from Dean on that front clip, but nice job here getting into position on that second outer zone. Right on that first hash mark. And as I said, he, I don't know if he has a real allotment in wing plates. He just seems to just like make it rain wing plates.
Well, let's take a look at this run here on the replay. A great initiation by Dean. Pretty good line being drawn here. Just bounces off the wall for a second there, but as he comes down on this first inside clip, like you said, Jared, maybe a little bit more angle there, and that would have helped him have a stronger transition to the inner bank where he could have locked into this line right here and really maximize those points. But overall, strong performance here from Dean. Really pushes hard through the finish line there. Tight on that last inside clip, and I think an improved performance from him from run number one.
All right, the smoke lingering here at the House of Drift. It's really cool seeing a lot of the other drivers, seeing Dave Briggs here, Tyler McCory, a lot of them are out here, Corey Hosford, a lot of the other drivers just kind of paying their respects, if I may. 83 for Dean Carney. I say paying their respects because, again, this is the final event here at the House of Drift, and has been dictated, wow, as it is just lighting it up here in more ways than one, and the drivers, just really just raising a stink about, what's going on here, and how funky it is. Sometimes it just, you can almost taste it. You can almost taste what goes down here at Irwindale. If you've never been here before, you have to experience it. You get to smell all the smells and just feel all the emotions and hear the cars. I mean,
see all the sights.
See all the sights.
See all the sights.
Yeah, and I mean, Ryan, you could. There's a certain smell that really resonates through.
I can relate
Irwindale.
to it,
Yeah. All right. So right now it's Chris the Force Forsberg NOS Energy Drink 370Z. Put down a solid first run, but he wants to get one of those coveted top spots to get a by run. Works his way up the bank. He was dancing with the devil there, with the devil being the wall. Now you can see the fire horns coming out of the hood. Nitrous firing away. both down the throat. Wow, more flames being thrown out. Flames all over this 370Z, and Chris Forsberg. Again, that thing looks insane because you got, I call them the fire horns, you know, the anti-lag VQ, you look at pow, pow, and then fire shoots out the back.
Yeah, this is a pretty
fireball,
really
dude.
Fun to watch from an aesthetics perspective. You see him working really high on the bank. You see that first spark come out through this first inside clip here on that second hash mark. More fire from Chris, more NOS coming down on this inside bank here. And then right here, the tire's going to light up just as we get out of this section of the course through that inside clip. Perfect job there. You can see the fire coming off at this point, but the run overall was phenomenal. And just aesthetically seeing the fire and blasting the NOS all at once, really exciting stuff there from Chris Forsberg.
No better word than I can think of for Larry Chen would be, that's car porn. You know what I mean? Like, that is photogenic as it comes, you know, fire coming out of the hood, fire coming out of the back, and, you know, we'll see what kind of fire comes out of the judges for this run. And Ryan, we know, you know, you're on fire as well as, you know, crushing the announcing and crushing a lot of other things. But again, Forsberg, boom, a 92. So these drivers just really stepping up. A 92 for Forsberg, and puts him into third qualifying position. Yeah. All right, so we are advancing on. This is Matt Kaufman. Matt Kaufman, 9th in points, coming in. Car number 959. The Ford V8 under the hood of his S13. Next in tires on the corner. The reflective graphics really working out here. The black chrome nose drops down off the bank. Kaufman with a 77 on his first run. Looks a bit loose. Doesn't look like the normal Kaufman. I know he was going to go into the Final Four battle at Texas, and from what I understood and what I heard was that his engine popped. So it's great to see him back out here. But for me, Matt Kaufman looked like the guy to beat in Texas, and unfortunately suffered some mechanical failure. But again, a 77 on his first run. What do you think? Does he better, Ryan? Well,
let's take a look at this here. He's mid on the bank. He has a little bit of wavering here, so he could do a better job there, locking into a line and being a little bit more fluid up on the bank. He does a pretty good job on that first inside clip. Here on the inner bank, a little more of the same, but deeper into this section of the zone here. You see, still has a little bit of that wavering going on, but overall, a great job on that second outer zone. He was on that second hash mark through that inside clip there, and then through the finish line. So I don't remember his first score off the top of my head, but
77.
his second score here, I would, yeah.
Yeah, you think it bettered it?
Close.
Yeah. Like I said, the car doesn't seem to be just as tight as I've seen in previous rounds of competition, but you know, he does have a score. We will be seeing him in head-to-head. Where he lands, we'll see. See where he finds himself squatting down. A 75 on his second run, a 77 on his first run proves to be the better of the two. So Matt Kaufman, World War Kaufman, will continue tomorrow for him in top 32 action. Daijiro Yoshihara, turn 14 distribution, Falcon tire, run BC. See Brian Crower logo there on that C pillar. Let's see what we got for Dai Yoshihara. Our current top 5: Denofa, Vincic, Forsberg, James Dean, Justin Pollock. And what do we got here from Dai Yoshihara? See him quickly checking the wheels. You can see the 6 through 10 there on the leaderboard. Dai Yoshihara tapping the brakes, really not tapping, actually pretty consistent with it. Flying past that front clip, very close proximity. Whoa! On that first run, he really got close to the wall, and he did it again, but then he held onto it. Really tight to that wall. Wow, Dai Yoshihara, a very clean run. I'd say a very, very sterile.
Yeah, no, I think that was a tremendous run from Daijiro Yoshihara. I mean, pretty much hitting most of the marks there. A nice, smooth initiation. As soon as he gets to this point in the course, he kind of locks onto the line that he's looking for. The wavering minimizes, comes down off the bank, hits that first inside clip, and then super deep into the second outer zone. Enters nice and early, right up there against the seam, all the way through. And then right there to that first inside, that first hash mark on that inside clip. And you can see just pushing very hard all the way through, almost up on the inside bank here as he comes through the finish line. So great job by him overall, and I think it's going to be a pretty high score. Claims.
Oh, wow, Ryan Sage, 94. Ryan was claiming a 95, and there he goes with a 94. Dai Yoshihara, as Ryan celebrates with a jovial dance, one that you cannot mistake as being Ryan Sagi. And Ryan Turk, the reflective gum out logo on the door, the gum out Toyota Racing Toyota GT86. All right, so our current leader, a 98, as it's nearly laughable seeing all those 90s, 98, 95, 94, 92, 91, the top 5. So Denofa, Vincek. Here we go, Ryan Turk through the start chicane. Listen to that, man. And the Rockets' red glare. Look at that thing just firing off. Oh, Ryan Turk. You can see the reflection of the taillights close to the wall, dropping down way out of shape here. Seems like he threw himself off. Ooh. Getting tight to that second outer zone. I mean, just hammered down. I mean, look, like, oh boy. That's not a good thing. Hopefully. No, it looks like the fire might have extinguished. Looks like the fire might have extinguished. You know, he's running the anti-lag, so similar to Forsberg. So there are flames firing off all over the place.
Yeah, let's take a look here. I mean, the first half of this run, it was not what Ryan Turk was looking for. He comes off on the bank very weird, kind of comes off where nobody else had been. But the second half is pretty awesome to watch. He gets locked into this really deep part of the course, fills this zone really well. Now watch as he comes through this last inside clip here. Right there, you're going to see fire emitting from the vehicle, and it stays on for maybe 2 seconds there. Seems to extinguish, and it looks like the vehicle is still running. So we'll have to get some information from his team about what transpired once they take a look at the vehicle. But right now we're focusing on what score Ryan Turk is going to receive on run number 2.
Yeah, fortunately for him, you know, he will be receiving a score. He did have a score on his first run. Where he lands now after the second, you can see we have safety over there. So let's take a look at this again, where I think
the judges are actually calling up this replay because they wanted to take a look at the initiation. Remember the 3, 2, 1 cones. Right there at the Cometic sign is the third standing marker where drivers need to be initiating by. So my guess, in not talking to them yet, is that that's what they were looking at.
All right, so analyzing each run here as Ryan Turk finishes it out. Also, SEMA. You might have heard of the SEMA show and the SEMA organization. SEMA Ignited is the official SEMA show after party. If you have heard of the infamous show celebrating 51 years in Las Vegas, the SEMA show after party. Check out hundreds of the hottest rides from the trade-only SEMA show. Friday, November 3rd in Las Vegas. See Formula Drift cars in action, tracksters, hot rods, trucks, and more. Go to SEMAignited.com and use coupon code FORMULA for tickets. It's a really cool experience. If you haven't been to the SEMA show, it's a cool opportunity because basically all the cars that are on the show floor, a majority of them have a parade through the lot caddy corner. So I'll out there be emceeing. I'm actually emceeing the event, so it's cool, and there's going to be drifting. And again, all the cars make a parade through. It's a real party after the SEMA show. Again, that's Friday, November 3rd in Las Vegas. As Ryan Turk grabs a score of 79 on his second run and 86 on his first run, proves to be the better of the two. So looks like track safety taking a look at the course, what went awry. So also, Forza race fans, come experience the all-new Forza Motorsport 7 on the unreleased Xbox One X console and Windows 10 PCs. Friday and Saturday here at Irwindale Speedway, Forza Motorsport 7 immerses players in the exhilarating thrill of competitive racing. From mastering the new motorsport-inspired campaign to collecting over 700 cars to experiencing the excitement of driving at the limit, this is Forza Motorsport Reimagined. Stop by the Forza Motorsport 7 experience located between the grandstand and paddock. Feel the thrill of motorsports right at your fingertips and speak to an Xbox team member about the Xbox One X before its release date on November 7th. Experience, again, Forza Motorsport 7. So when we come back, we'll take a look at Ryan Turk's vehicle, take a look at the track. We'll continue with more action. We are already into the top 10 drivers here on our second run. It's a beautiful night. Look at this up close and personal. Kaboom! Fireworks before the main event, the title fight. O'Reilly's Auto Park title fight going down tomorrow. We will crown a champion and a winner here at the infamous House of Drift.
So, Jared, we're just taking a look at here. This is actually remnants of Ryan Turk's vehicle and some of the fluids that it put down. It's actually motor oil. One of our staff members actually found a connecting rod down on course. So this looks like an engine detonation from Ryan Turk, which would mean this would be the second motor in recent times that he's had to go through. And I don't know what that's going to do for him and his team. It obviously is going to mean some work depending on how much access they have to parts to fix the vehicle, but that is what we are hearing from the pit level, that they did find a connecting rod actually on the ground, and this is all oil from his vehicle. So you have to manage, imagine that some level of panic is set in with the team, hoping that we see him back in competition tomorrow, but that is the latest report that we're hearing.
Woof. And, you know, Gumout has just done such a great job, you know, supporting Ryan Turk and his campaign. And obviously, you know, Gumout, one of our sponsors, and they do a great job. And, you know, but hat tip to Ryan Turk, the Name is Performance team, again, because with Ryan Turk, as you said, this would be a second engine. If they're able to get it back together, you know, that would be his third tomorrow. But then also Chris Forsberg, he suffered a big hit yesterday. So that team is, I mean, I went over there and those dudes looked a little tranced, man. They looked whooped. Talking to Dylan Hughes, who's also a Pro 2 driver. He works with Forsberg. And he says, I'm tired. I'm real tired, man.
Can't blame him, man.
No.
It's a lot of work doing these 8 events. And like I said, in one of my working theses is that, you know, 7 events for so many years. You move to 8 events. When you're thinking about building the vehicle, you know, you have to factor that in. But we're breaking new ground all the time, and it becomes really trying to hold the car together at the end, and you know, unless you're Kristaps and you got one sitting in the port for you. So yeah, it's been a crazy weekend so far, and I think that there's going to be a lot more to come.
Yeah, no, most definitely. So we're going to do some cleanup here, and I got to say, thank you, Ryan Turk, for, you know, blowing it up so conveniently after the finish line, you know, so it won't be such an issue. So thank you for, you know, basically causing that mess after the finish line. All joking aside, hopefully they get the car back together. Ryan Turk, one of definitely the crowd favorites. As we'll continue here in just a few moments here with run 2 here at round 8. This is the O'Reilly Auto Parts title fight. As we take a look at it again, the fireworks, kaboom, goes the 2JZ. All right. Welcome back. We are live here at Irwindale, the House of Drift, Irwindale Speedway to be exact. O'Reilly Auto Parts title fight, the final round, 8 of 8 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship presented by Blackview Dash Cameras. And we are seeing the ESSA Autosports Achilles Radial BMW of that man, Michael ESSA. Hence the ESSA Autosports on the door. Wearing a little pink there in homage of his daughter, adorable daughter, wearing a matching driver's suit at the autograph session. That autograph session will be going down here later after qualifying. Taking a look at the schedule, autograph signing will be at 8 o'clock. There'll be a dedicated 8 o'clock. And also the GT4586 ride-along at 7:45. We have a driver's meeting later, but it doesn't include, obviously, the public. So Michael ESSA, here we go, send it. Michael ESSA on his second run. Again, we are live here at the House of Drift. Smoke coming from the back of the car. That is always a good sign. Would like to see him closer to that outside zone. Now bringing into the second outer zone. Massive angle there from ESSA. Like I said, proximity from him to the wall. I'd like to see him closer. Very smooth, but would like to see, again, some tightness.
Well, let's take a look here at the second run from Michael ESSA. Initiates there's the 3-2-1 cone. Gets on throttle here. He pulls a little angle out of the vehicle, and you'd like to see him be a little bit closer to the wall there. It would give him the right line to set up this inside clip. He's on that second hash mark there. And again, not really getting all the way out to the wall to fill that zone completely. Good angle in the vehicle overall, like you said, Jared, and then pushing through the finish line here. We'll see where that lands him. Run number 2, he is done for the evening.
All right, so you can see that smoke just filling the venue. And we've had some, the smoke over the years and just how it lingers, especially in Atlanta. That was crazy how it just really hung out for a while. And also in New Jersey. An 89 on his second run. So an 88 wasn't good enough. An 89 on his second run puts him into 6th position. That's crazy. You know, a score of 89 and he's only in 6th.
Well, you can see there the big factor on that run was line.
Yep.
He had the most points deducted there. His angle was pretty good, and the initiation fluidity commitment had pretty high marks there on the style side of things. So the judges making it real clear that they want to see a better line.
Here comes Vaughn Gittin Jr. Monster Energy Nitto Tire Ford Performance Mustang RTR 2010, I believe it was. Formula Drift champion. Let's see if he can get up there with his Mustang RTR teammate. Not as high as we saw earlier from Denofa. Looks like might be playing it safe here. But, you know, by no means is it safe. He's still throwing it down right there. And he does just that. Oh boy, more flames. Yikes.
Definitely hard hit there towards the end. We've seen a couple guys lift up the back end there, but Vaughn, that was a pretty aggressive hit. Doesn't look like he popped the right rear. It looks like it was mostly the back trunk and bumper. You can see there he comes off that bank a little bit early as he comes into this first inside clip. He's on that second hash mark. Let's watch the inside bank here where he lines himself up very close there, touches the wall. As he comes through this last inside clip right there, you're going to see he actually does, the wheel does make contact, but at first pass, it didn't look like from that point of view that he popped the tire. But right here, you can see, yeah, the wheel and the tire do come clearly into contact with the wall there. So he's probably got a bent rim, and you can see the back right of the vehicle. Lights are out, so there's definitely some damage sustained there. But these vehicles are built to go into walls, so it'll be a matter of pulling it out, and hopefully nothing substantive to the frame or anything like that.
Yeah, and the RTR team of Vaughn and Chelsea, they do a good job of really setting up their corners almost modularly, where you can just swap out a corner. They have basically parts boards where it's like, okay, here's the right corner, here's the left corner, front, back, side to side, living it up. And that's a 0. That will be an incomplete run there for Vaughn Gittin Jr. And Ryan, that's why the judges were slowing that down, where he hit the wall, he actually countered. So that was basically an opposite drift in that instance. So unfortunately for Vaughn Gittin Jr., that will be a 0 on his incomplete, but fortunately he had a score on his first run, so he will be in top 32. Again, bears repeating, this car is stunning in the not so much the flesh, but in the carbon Kevlar flesh. A great looking car. This car was just at the port yesterday. Fortunately for him, you know, AEM and Maximum Driftcast, they were going to debut it tomorrow, but now with him detonating his Mass Motorsports engine yesterday, pulled it out and said, let's go ahead and compete in it. So threw some Achilles radials on it. He's good to go, and it's great to see this thing run. And he was the first time I was going to see a competition is next year, but you know what? He needed to pull it out of the artillery. Wow, look at that. I mean, great looking car. So initiating, Christoph Bluch. See a lot of wavering there. And now into that second outer zone. You got to think he wants to keep composure of this. You know, he's going for a top 3 finish. He's not going for the championship. He's going for bragging rights, taking out that front clip. Gets close to that wall, flirts with disaster there, but keeps it off. So Christoph Bluch on the second run.
We also don't know, I mean, at least in detail, what he has as far as backup parts on the vehicle. So he's already in top 32 for tomorrow. He's got plenty of time to practice tomorrow. You don't need to go out and sacrifice. I mean, yeah, it would be great if he could get one of those 5 buys. That'd be great for him. But, you know, is it worth it for the vehicle that you're planning on taking to SEMA that you pulled off of the container last night? I think it is worth it to save his potential top 3 championship for sure. I think I would go that route as well, but we don't need to get too crazy in qualifying.
No, and you know what, this might help him and assist him getting some, you know, garnering some more sponsors for his 2018 championship run. Take a look at this car, look at his driving. He's a very talented driver. He's quickly become you know, a favorite. You know, I would say the moment that really defined him as we take a look at his score. 75 on his second run, but an 82 on his first score. I wouldn't say that defined him, but a comical but a defining moment for him was when the 5-minute competition timeout basically eclipsed, and he powered off of the jack stands and smashed the jack stands.
Not only that,
in Atlanta.
If you watched our TV shows on CBS Sports, or if you DVR them, there are just some all-time classic interviews from Christoph in there. He has no filter whatsoever, and it's blunt and clear, but it has a sense of comedy to it. So he's a fantastic gentleman.
He really is, and the more you get to know Christoph, you know, on first face, you meet him and you're kind of like, oh, this Russian cat. Well, first of all, he's Latvian. Second of all, he's a really nice guy. He's a father. Like he's a really, really good dude. So I can't say enough good things about him. And then he's a badass driver. Here we go. We are seeing that of Odi Bakshi's Falcon Tires S14. Past that front clip quickly. Look at that. Bam. Oh, boy. He is flirting. Whoa, buddy. And that will be an incomplete run. So I said badass driver because he actually came out with a video. So I'm actually quoting his video. I wouldn't, you know, it's a family show.
You're not saying a bad word.
I'm not saying a bad word.
So Odi Bakshi's here. That will be an incomplete. Let's take a look and see if we can find out what happened here. It looks to me like a great save from Odi. He's kind of mid-line on the bank. Big angle through that first inside clip. Now coming out on the inner bank there, he has the front end kind of washes out, and he gets very, very near the wall. He may have actually made contact with it. It actually does look like he picked up a little bit of something there on the right rear, and that could have been extremely bad, but a great job of Odi being cognizant of what's going on, where he's at on track, pulls out of it, and saves the vehicle. So good on him for saving the car. He will have an incomplete, but he's already in the show.
That could have been disastrous for Bakshi's, but he keeps his composure. As you can see, the Rockstar Energy Drink, Toyota Corolla IM on Nexen Tires of Frederick Osbo, warming him up. He is your 2015 Formula Drift champion. As you can see, the stats there from Ski Norway, 31 years old, 1,000 horsepower. And, you know, if you haven't been following the series, this is the freshman season, the first season this car's been debuted. Previously took a TC to his championship, but now this Toyota Corolla IM being debuted this year, and that's just a real testament to not only Frederick Osbo, but also his team. Running a 4-cylinder turbo under the Papadakis Racing camp. They have won 3 championships because Tanner Faust, he has won 2 back-to-back champions previously. Frederick Osbo takes him 2015, and right now he's in contention of a 2017 Formula Drift championship. But, you know, all signs are kind of pointing towards James Dean, but Frederick Osbo wants to get in the way here. As Osbo with an 89 on his first run, transitions past that front clip into that second outer zone. Look at that, just turning on the smoke machine. The hot one hatchback. There are no groceries back there, and if you did have some eggs, they are boiled because it is hot. As brings it past that final front clip, and that wall is definitely rocking a little 1-2 punch there towards the end.
Well, Frederick Osbo, for a lot of, if there's any up-and-coming drifters out there, has really systematically put together a solid program on how to win battles, and he does it by utilizing his qualifying run as a starting point. He qualifies really high, and then he goes out and puts down a lead run that's something similar to this. It makes it really challenging for the chase driver to do the same when he's in the lead position, and because you have to win the lead and the chase and be the better overall driver, it just puts those drivers at a big disadvantage, and Osbo ends up hitting the wall there towards the end. Doesn't seem like it affects the vehicle too much, but he does already have a really high score, so we'll see how this does compared to the run number 1.
Well, there's only one driver left, and that's James Dean, our current points leader, potential champion. Nearly 100 points separate him and Osbo, and as we said, he does get a score. Where he lands, will he get a fast pass into the 16? He does need to turn tires, and no, an 88 will stand on, or 88 will be his second run, and 89 on his first run is the better of the two. That holds him into 7th position. Again, this is unofficial because coming in, we do have some bye runs advancing on from qualifying. Next stop, top 16, because they will have a bye run in 32. So our final driver of qualifying, our final qualifying run of the year, our final qualifying run at the House of Drift. James Dean, again, hashtag FDIRW. Could this be a look at our 2017 Formula Drift champion? We'll find out tomorrow night. The O'Reilly Auto Parts title fight goes down tomorrow here at the House of Drift. Let's end this one with a bang as James Dean on his second qualifying run. Can he move up? He already has a 91. He is in the top 5 position. So right now, he is basically getting a bye into the top 16. And guess what? Is he going to better it even more? A 98 is the number 1 score. Taps that wall just to give a little piece de resistance. So a 98. Denofa leads the pack, and that taillight, that's a little bit of a bragging right, saying, yeah, I tapped it.
Well, I mean, look, we can't really pick this run apart because there's not a lot of mistakes here. Early initiation on the throttle, super high on the bank. Look at the rear wheel right up there where the highest mark of that tire wear is. Super tight on that inside clip, immediately gets into the zone on the inside bank. He's about 6 inches away, moves it to 3. Maybe he could have stayed in that zone a little bit longer, but he's super tight on that last inside clip. And then not only does he tap the wall, he taps it in such a way where there's an excitement level, but it doesn't disrupt the vehicle at all. So is this as good as Denofa's? Is it better? I don't know. It's in the judges' hands now, but either way, he's got himself a very high qualifying position, run number 1 or run number 2.
So event wins in one season. James Dean ties Frederick Osbo this year, and Daigo Saito has 3 wins in 2013. Sam Hubinet had 3 in 06 and 04. Hubinet is the only driver to win 3 events in a row. So James Dean, did he win? He won Texas. Did he win, was it Seattle previously? So yeah, basically, so not only would he have the most event wins in one season, but also he would tie Hubinet with 3 events in a row. And just a phenomenal driver, a great talent. Again, a humble guy. His mother and father here. There are a lot of Wirthouse drift teams. Car number 150, James Dean. Boom, 94. 94. He jumps up only 2 spots. He does not better that Chelsea Denofa, and Chelsea Denofa will be your Black Magic Top Qualifier Award winner. He gets some cash, and he gets a case of Black Magic Intense Tire Shine. So again, thanks for joining us out here. It's been some exciting driving. Ryan Sage, anything to add?
No, just looking forward to a phenomenal event tomorrow. It's going to be a sellout show. If you're coming back, get here early. Parking is crazy, but great way to send it off here to Irwindale, and we'll be really happy to see all you fans there tomorrow for the sign-off.
The O'Reilly Auto Parts title fight goes down tomorrow. The final round, round 8 of 8. We'll crown a champion. We'll crown a winner. It's going down tomorrow. We'll see you online, or we'll see you another time. Again, the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship presented by Blackview Dash Cameras. And again, the GT4586 ride-along is happening now out there on the track once we clear it. So again, the Gum Out GT4586 on track now. Send it.